as I can tonight, brother.
What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to Tactical Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, February 27th, 2018. Welcome to the show. I've got the little, goodness gracious. I've got the little dings going on again. Gotta love it. Gotta love Gun Channel dings. But speaking of Gun Channels, let's see who all is out there. You got Raphael, Smeggy, Phoenix, John Z. Give them a few minutes. Again, I just put a thing in the live lobby chat. Smeggy just kind of did his lobby chat, started up a few minutes ago. So what's going on? Let's check out the YouTube side. As always, it's been a festive lobby. You got Grim, you got Patriot out there, Midnight Range TM, Phoenix. We've got Wizard Works 8. What's going on, Wizard Works? How you doing? Tardot. Rich White, the 1%. Jim Burgess, howdy. Let's see here who else we got. That guy's wife, aloha. John Z's out there running the show as always as well. Roll call, what's going on, roll call? How you doing, buddy? Axe out there, Rastafari. Caliber Karma, what's going on, Matt? Rob C, 2 Live Moo. Mike Sykes is in the house. So, guys, like I said, we are live on YouTube. We are also simulcasting over on GunChannels.com, and we will take the audio posted over on iTunes and Podbean and Podomatic and all sorts of different platforms. Portions of this will be made into a blog and put over on the blog on my website. Check out the website, www.ghosttactical.us. You'll find all of our platforms over there, including Patreon. If you'd like to become a patron, we would certainly welcome that as well. Got some really cool things that are coming down the pipeline in the next week or so, not only for Patreon, but for the store on the website. I'm getting my new shipment of hats should be in either Thursday or Friday, I believe, is what they're saying. So I've got a new shipment of hats. I owe a couple people out there some hats, and we'll get that taken care of. We are also working on getting some challenge coins. They're actually going to be poker chips. I thought the poker chip kind of a thing was a little bit cooler. But there are going to be some challenge coins with different logos on each side, and that is going to drive me up a freaking wall. So I'm going to try to get rid of those bings.
Just open up the chat rooms window.
Yeah.
And click on the live sounds on and then click it off. It'll.
Yep. What's up, RL? How you doing, bro? Yeah, but right now, what we're going to be talking about is gun channels for a second. If you guys, I'm sure most of you are familiar and are already members of gun channels, but if you're not, we invite you. What's up, Clay? Yeah, everybody's a mod. You got a room of wrenches out there. But if you are not familiar with gun channels or haven't gone over there yet, the link is going to be right here. GunChannels.com. There you go. It's a great place to talk about the firearm community, Second Amendment community. I like to call it the water cooler of the Second Amendment in the firearm community. So it's a great place to get over there, talk with like-minded people. If you're not a gun person and you're interested in the guns and you're got some questions about maybe your first gun purchase or whatever, there's a myriad of experts over there in different fields to where you can find someone that will answer your question, including these gentlemen in my panel. So let's say hello to my panel right now real quick. We've got from South Carolina, we got the Outlaw Hatfield. What's going on, Outlaw?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on. It's a
My pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Always to be here with you, buddy.
I appreciate you very much. From the great state of Florida, I believe that's the Sunshine State, is it not? I think it's the Sunshine State. We got Tack Daddy. What's going on, Tip?
What's up, Ghost? Thanks again, man.
Yeah, anytime.
Good to see you as always.
Good seeing you as always, my friend, and hope you're doing well. Hope the family's well. And the producer engineer of tonight's show, as always, from New York City, John Z Project. What's up, John?
How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining us, and thank you to our panel.
There you go. And from my home state, not currently where I live, but my home state will always be my home state. And the tactical leprechaun himself, Clover Tack. How you doing, my friend?
I'm well. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for coming. All right, guys. So before we get going, there was a news story. Get our Mr. Knife sticker out there. Amorphous, Pyro Know-It-All. All right, before we get going, there's a story that I heard. I think it was RL. No, it was Budget Guns and Gears did a quick live chat early in the day. Just a very brief one. And I thought it was pretty interesting. How you doing, Storm? I thought it was pretty interesting. So I want to read this article, which we don't get enough good publicity, especially right now when it comes to the Good Samaritan and the quote unquote good gun people of the world. And basically what this was is a man armed with an AR-15 credits his rifle's intimidation factor in helping him stop an attack. I'm going to quickly read this. I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but I'm going to quickly read this article. It says out of Illinois. An Illinois man armed with an AR-15 credits his rifle's intimidation factor in helping him stop a knife attack on Monday. Police told stations someone with a knife attacked another person during an argument in an apartment building in the Oswego Township. That's when neighbor Dave Thomas grabbed his AR-15 and ordered the suspect to stop. He said, "I poked my head out the door. There was a pool of blood. Blood was everywhere in the hall, and there was still a confrontation going on. There were actually about 3 or 4 people involved at this point, so I ran back in the house and I grabbed my AR-15. I grabbed it over my handgun because it's bigger. It's a bigger gun. I think a little bit more intimidation factor definitely played a part in him actually stopping. While the suspect briefly got away, he soon was captured by the police. The stabbing victim was taken to the hospital, and there is no immediate word on the victim's situation." Basically what this was, guys, is this guy was at his house and heard an argument, ended up being an actual stabbing, and with several people. He goes back into his apartment or whatever and grabs his AR-15, orders the guy to stop, and the guy takes off. And we don't know what would have happened. I mean, it could have been stabbing. That person was definitely killed on the spot, and if there were 3 or 4 people involved, could there have been other deaths? But I thought this was a really good story, especially in today's climate, just because and we don't get a whole lot of good stuff out there, and especially with what's going on in the last week or so. Gun people need to there are some good people. There's a lot of us out there, but when we hear a story like this, I wish they would play this out more in the media, which I know that they're not, because it's a more of a left-leaning media. But what do you guys think about this guy? And let me ask you a question: is obviously it stopped a crime, but is bringing an AR-15 to a knife fight a good idea in that situation, or was it exactly what was needed? What do you guys think?
You take every advantage you can get in the situation, and that's the bottom line. If he's got a knife, I want a cannon. It just makes sense to me.
Yeah. Sandhill shooters in here. What's going on? They're all giving Storm a little bit of hell out there, which is yeah, I guess that's a good thing. Tack or Clover or John, what do you guys think about the media coverage?
There are tens of thousands of instances every year where someone brandishes a weapon of some sort of higher power than what they're being attacked, or equal, that diffuses a situation that never gets reported. That's just a fact. We don't know what the number is, that's for sure, but the number in terms of how big it is, it's a big number. It's definitely a big number.
Yeah. Well, and my thing is I mean, we had the church shooting in Texas that a gentleman with an AR-15 tracked down and shot, and to all accounts, if not killed him, had seriously wounded the shooter of the church. And that got played out pretty well in the media. That actually helped us a lot as a gun community, I believe. But we don't get to hear too many concealed carry people that stop crime. We know that happens. I mean, I'm not going to say every day because I don't know the facts, but it happens a lot, I'm sure, in real life, real world situations where concealed carry or a gun person that has one in their house or their vehicle stops a crime. And yet we never hear about that stuff. We only hear about the bad side of the gun community and the firearms itself. And so it was nice to kind of hear that a media outlet did cover the fact that a law-abiding citizen with guns stopped a crime, and it was actually publicized. Because, like I said, we don't hear too many of that. Clover, you're down there in Texas after the church shooting. Obviously, the initial first week or two, it was this guy's a hero. But is there anything that you've heard since then, or do people just kind of forget about that church shooting when the next thing happened, or whatever? Or is this guy still kind of being revered down there a little bit?
Sadly, I think it's like everything else that a few weeks go by and it sort of gets forgotten about for most people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it kind of happens.
Everybody's busy with their day-to-day lives. I mean, unless it's an issue that affects them or is closer to them, that obviously extends the time frame from, which it stays fresh in their mind. But, for John Q. Public, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, it's on to something else.
Right. They're out there saying that Smeggy is quirking me. Smeggy's got 6 people watching, so that's whatever.
And to pile on, I mean, Tack sort of stole exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That just having it and having, you're fine. Just having it and being a deterrent is one of them things, and there's no way to calculate that. But I think about the quote, walk softly and carry a big stick, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, being quirked by a snowman, I'm not really worried about it. You guys want to go watch Smeggy, have at it. You can always watch this on the replay or whatever.
The gun channel battles begin.
It's a lobby chat. I'm pulling 41. I think he's got 6. So yeah, we'll let him have the 6. That's fine. It's all good.
The heaviest of the mouth breathers.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you one thing real quick about CCW. And here in Arkansas, last year we passed a law. Obviously, we are a shall issue state with our concealed carry license. But last year we passed a state law. They're calling it an enhanced concealed carry permit. And it went effective January 1. And I'm actually taking my class next week. And basically unfortunately, the bad thing when it goes live January 1, you have to wait for the instructors to actually get their license before they can teach a class. Go figure. But I'm taking mine next week. But what it basically is I don't know if you guys have this in your states that are shall issue or, that are not constitutional, but ours basically are enhanced now allows us to carry with a normal CCW permit. You can't carry in bars. Obviously, you can't carry in the state capitol or any government building. You can't carry, obviously, in schools. You can't carry in public universities or colleges, and all that stuff. And basically, with this enhanced concealed carry permit in the state of Arkansas, at least, now we can carry in the state capitol. We can carry in government agencies. We can also carry for having a meeting with a government official, which we couldn't do before either. We can now carry on public universities or campuses. We can carry in airports outside of the TSA secured area. We can carry in airports now. We basically the only 2 or 3 places that we can't carry now is with enhanced. Is you still can't carry, obviously, in churches or schools. You actually can't carry at a church unless it has a sign posted. But you can't carry in schools, and you can't carry in a courtroom, and that's pretty much it. So the cool thing about this is it is opening the doors, and I think that this was every time that our state government brings up constitutional carry, it gets shut down the last 4 or 5 years. But I think that this one got passed, and I think that this could be a step towards constitutional carry. I hope so, because they're taxing the hell out of us for sure.
So what are the requirements for the enhanced versus
all it is
the
is another
regular?
8 hours. It's just an additional 8 hours of classroom / training on the range. That's it. So right now for our normal concealed carry permit, it's 8 hours of class / training. For the enhanced, it's just an additional 8 hours. So instead of a 1 day, it could be a 2 day, or something like that. But it's all it is an additional 8 hours of instruction and training. So for me, it's a no brainer, because basically I can carry anywhere now except for a school zone, a courtroom, or obviously anywhere that has posted signs, which I'm not so sure the validity of posting signs is, if that's actually constitutional or not. But I'm not going to fight that, obviously. Do you guys have anything like that? Or, are y'all able to carry in state capitol or government buildings or public universities in where you guys are right now? Or is this something that's just new to Arkansas?
Not in South Carolina. Now I know in Georgia last year they passed the campus carry, and I thought that was a great step, especially for Georgia. So hopefully it catches on.
Phoenix wants to know, does that make the new one unenhanced?
Yeah, we've got in Texas, we've actually got a fast track at our capital. Basically, if you carry, you've got your own line down at the state capitol. You go through, go through the line with everybody else, which is pretty neat.
Nice.
So as far as our legislators or whatever, they don't care. I've been in several meetings and town halls and everything else, and open carried, and they don't care. And I've walked up to them and had private meetings on the sidewalk outside, and they don't care. And then we've had campus carry now, which they're still, with our campus carry, it's the campus has to put together their policy. So it kind of depends on what their particular policy was, because they can restrict certain places and all of that. But I mean, we just have the one license, and then as they open things up. But here, I think it's like you're saying, I'm pretty sure, and I've been trying to tell the constitutional carry guys this for a very long time, that we're moving the ball downfield. We're getting there. It's just happening, baby steps at a time. So far, we haven't taken a step back. Thank goodness.
Yeah. I guess Matt's out there saying he's never seen me without a hat on. So yeah, I don't wear a hat a whole lot. I guess I do when in front of videos and all, but that's just more trying to get the logo. I want the branding logo out there, but no, I'm not wearing a hat. Let's see here. Casino Boss is basically, we have the same enhanced carry Mississippi, which I think Mississippi and Arkansas, as far as the gun laws and all that, are probably very similar. We're right next to each other, obviously, but I think they're probably pretty similar. Tennessee's probably similar to what we are here as well. Travis T says we need a similar option in Florida. So TAC, are you guys allowed to carry at government buildings or with meetings with legislators of any kind?
No, most of that's going to have metal detectors when you go into those buildings.
Right. As of right now, you guys probably can't carry into government buildings. So, yeah, you guys might need something like that. I don't know. Now it doesn't sound like you're probably going to have any positive gun bills going through anytime soon, will you?
I really don't know. It sounds like the legislators here in Florida are pretty hell-bent on some change. Yeah. And a variety of different things have been suggested and proposed and are going through the motions at the same time. Well,
without getting too terribly political, because, we were talking this pre-show, I don't want to go terribly political tonight. I'm not going to bring up Trump or anything like the NRA or anything like that, because everyone's talking about it, and I want to give everybody kind of, a little bit of time away from all that. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff. But if you want to talk very briefly, what all have you heard as far as proposed legislation in Florida that's alarming? Is there anything that's crazy alarming, or is it just all of it together is just a lot.
Anything that's alarming.
Is there going to be a semi-automatic ban legislative, proposal?
I've heard of stuff in other states that's way
Right.
further lines than here.
Okay.
It's funny because everyone's like, Rick Scott's going to do whatever he can to get reelected. It's like, no, he's done. His terms are up.
Yeah.
He's going to do what he thinks is right, and that's going to be based on, again, a lot of experiences and a lot of influence from a lot of outside sources, but also a lot of soul searching. I was in some of those same services that he was, listening to the same people with the same speeches, and there's no way that doesn't affect you as a man.
Yeah. So,
not saying he's going to go, completely that way, because it doesn't sound like it to me. But there's a lot of other political things in the atmosphere right now that are way more distracting than the gun stuff, to be honest, with the lack of follow through from the police, the FBI, etc. Lack of courage. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out for sure in this state.
Yeah. Let's go to the chat real quick. Can I check up a little bit here? Rob C says the governor of Ohio is trying to make it worse than California here. That's not good. Collision the Call says in Colorado you can campus carry, but you're not sure if you still can campus carry in light of recent events, and we can open carry. You need a permit to conceal carry. Let's see here. Matt says, how much worse? I applied in July. I'm supposed to find out in August. How you doing, Mia? Welcome. Phoenix, there's kind of talking. Did I see what CBS did? I saw Cal, you asked that earlier. I did not see it, so I'm not even going to speculate on what that is right now. So I kind of caught up with the chat right now. Let's go check the gun channel side and see what's out there. So we got Jim's over there, Pawnery's over there, Mr. Knives is over there. So they're putting out some. I think they're probably putting out some of that. The same article that we were talking about earlier is pretty much what they were putting out there. So, John, I think this might be a good time for our first commercial. So you want to go ahead and take it away?
My mouth is full. Hold on.
I have great timing, don't I?
Yes, you do.
You want me to do it?
I'll do it. Give me 30 seconds.
All right. Well, we're gonna start counting. Hi, Mia. She's saying hi to everybody. Good for them. No, like I said, I'm taking my enhanced next week, so I'm looking forward to that and being able to carry it some places that were previously off limit. And like you were saying, Clover, before, I'll let John kind of just catch his breath for a second. Hey, what's up, Mad Sexy? How you doing, brother? You were talking about that you've actually had private conversations with congressmen and whatever in Arkansas. When you're open carrying in Arkansas, if you were in the same, at one point it was the same building, but they call it now the vicinity of any elected official, you were not allowed to be carrying at all. And this is now the enhanced is now taking precedence over that to where you can. But I thought that was interesting. You ready to go?
As you are aware, GunChannels.com has recently turned 4 years old. There are a growing number of audiences as well as content creators utilizing the website. With increasing demand, GunChannels.com is in the process of completing much-needed upgrades. These upgrades will help create smoother functionality while keeping up with the increasing number of members, in addition to a much-welcomed GunChannels.com mobile app. There are only 2 more days to pledge support of the upgrades. Here's the link. Go check it out. Go support them. And back to you, Rob.
Thanks, All right, so we're going to jump into the first topic of the night, which is about training and home defense and self-defense. This was actually supposed to be the topic we were going to talk about last week before the whole Trump debacle that happened. So that took a 3-hour conversation last week to diffuse. So we're going to get into this and talk about training and what types of training should you be getting if you're going to go and buy a specialized training for home or self-defense. And then we're also going to talk about some stuff that you can do for practicing what kind of gear other than firearms do you need to be proficient with while training and practicing for that worst case scenario? And then the third thing we're going to talk about a little bit is good idea, bad idea. I think we're all going to say it's a good idea, but how to go about actually implementing practice drills and incorporating the family at the house or inside of a car. Because I think that people have weapons and they have the stuff to defend themselves with in a car or a home. But I would be willing to bet that very few people actually go through the process of practicing, especially with family members and all that, and actually doing what is in essence kind of what we did in school with like fire drills, tornado drills, and all that, where everyone involved is practicing and just in case, you know, the safe words, you know what to do, where to be, where things are that you need to know where they are in order to survive and to live on to see another day. So let's go through the room real quick, and we'll start with Ellis. Have you ever gone and actually had a self-defense or a home defense pistol training class or anything like that?
No, sir, I have not.
Okay, that's all right. And I'll start with this then with you is when you go to the range, or if you were going to work on self-defense or home defense, what are some of the drills or techniques that you would probably want to practice?
Cornering is a big one. Deciding where I'm going to stand, how you deal with different angles. That's always a issue. Also, height, whether shoot high, shoot low. Just different aspects of how you would go about defending your home while you're in there.
Tack, what about you? I know you guys probably do quite a bit, or at least you talk about a lot of stuff. I don't know if you actually go through the motions, but have you ever had any training? I'm asking you this because I'm asking you, but I know the answer to this. But have you ever had any training for self or home defense? Have you taken your family to any of that training and all that stuff?
Not so much, but we incorporate it in terms of bringing the training home.
Right. Clover, I know you've probably done some training before, but what kind of training have you done, and do you incorporate the family? And I know that you're kind of empty nesters now, but when you had the kids in the house, were they incorporated into the training at all, or how did that go for you?
No, I mean, most of my training is going to boil down to, competition style stuff. But and then as far as the house, I mean, we had, the safety drill stuff, but it didn't revolve around self-defense.
Right.
I don't know, just the way that my house and property and the things are set up. I mean, the odds of that are fairly slim, and you would be a real moron if we live in a town of 300, so I mean, it's pretty obvious that you try to break in here in the middle of the night, it's a death wish, literally. Whether it's we're home or the kids are home or whoever, it's not going to be cool. That said, there's a few things that would interest me from a professional's opinion. And I know that we've had Luke in with Shoot Perfect and
sick tonight. He just sent me a message
and Ray with Freedom Defense. And I know I've talked with Ray a little bit before, and I don't know if Luke does or not. I'm sure they probably do, but they'll actually do home assessments, and it would be really cool because those guys have an eye for determining blind spots and places where if somebody was to break in, where they would get into a corner or maybe hide if they heard you come in or something like that. So that sort of thing would be cool. And then some low light with movement. I mean, I've done low light stuff here. Some training with low light and then flashing lights and different things like that at night, but I've never done anything with any type of a moving target or with any kind of movement going on. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, and I guess I haven't really done training as far as a paid class or anything, but I do a lot of IDPA shooting that obviously has a lot of moving targets, and you have hard targets where you can't shoot. You have threat targets, non-threat targets. So you have to kind of assess a scenario that you're playing out. But I will say that a lot of the training that I have seen that I've actually looked into, and I'm actually looking to do some training classes this year, if for no other reason because I enjoy it. I feel like I'm relatively proficient on different tactics and all that, but my tactics are based off stuff that are 20-something years old. So I'd like to kind of see what the new up and coming tactics are that is out there, to see what they're teaching these days, because you're always able and willing to learn more things. But I tell you, one of the things that I would like to talk about a little bit is what in the world is this? Okay. I'm gonna let them kind of go out there. They're having a good time out there. Is the use of a light, and we talked a little bit about this last week. I think it was on your show, Clover, with Luke. I tried to bring up a couple on Fire on Friday. It was an interesting chat because you had the gunsmith and you had the instructor, and I thought that was a great show because there were some good questions for the gunsmith, and then we had some questions for Luke as well. I think it was Mark was the gunsmith, wasn't it? Mark, is that his name?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. But we talked a little bit about a light and having a fixed or attached light onto your guns and all that. And I tell you what, I've always done for home defense. And by no means, guys, when I tell you all this stuff, is it something that you should do? You got to do what's best for you and your family, and what's more comfortable for you. But I never run an attached or a fixed light on my weapon. I always will carry a little light, and it's about that size. A lot of it at home, it's about that size, and I've got a little clicker, and I'll keep it kind of right here, right below my chin. And I know that sounds kind of strange, but if I keep it kind of right here by my chin, wherever I'm looking, I'll have ability to have that light going. And the reason why I don't like to have that fixed light is I don't necessarily have to have where my eyes go, my barrel's going, because especially if you're going, we talked about this with Luke a little bit, when you're trying to get from your bedroom possibly to your children's bedroom in a different maybe quadrant of the house or area or zone of the house, we call them zones. We talk about getting from point A to point B, and if you're using a light, sometimes you're actually putting yourself in a bad situation. You're kind of giving your position away to the bad guys, because typically we're going to know our house a lot better than anybody else entering our house. Chances are when they enter the house, even if it's dark, they've been in the car or whatever, so their eyes haven't adjusted to the darkness as ours have. So I don't even really like using a light, but I will have a light on if I have to. And I will, when we talk about cornering, we talk about taking angles. I'll say this, if you're going down a hallway and you're getting ready to maybe enter a room, please do not stand right next to the wall. First of all, if someone knows you're there, they can fire through that wall, and that wall's not going to stop anything. It's drywall. But two, you're giving yourself a really terrible angle looking into the next room you're going into. So stay away from the wall, give yourself a better angle. But we really work on having a light maybe not attached and being able to work a light with one hand here. If you're able to go single hand with a gun, worst case scenario is, all right, we'll just do this real quick. I'm going to take out. All right. It's clear, guys. I don't want you to think. All right. So if we're going and you have a situation where you can kind of come here, and then now you can kind of move the light, but my muzzle is pointed where I need it to point, or worst case scenario, you can kind of get this kind of a claw grip type thing, what you want to call it, and now you have a light and still able to take your grip. However you want to do it, there are certainly multiple ways of holding that. But what do you guys train when you go to the range? Do you guys ever work on self-defense stuff? And do you ever train with a light, an unattached light to your gun at the range, whether it's on or off, but just having being used to holding that light or anything? Do you guys do that at all? I'll start with Ellis.
Not really, no. I
In
figured-
Phoenix, I was not flagging the camera. I was off at a 45-degree angle for that exact reason, because I don't want the people to start freaking out. I was
it's
not
okay.
trying to.
If you can
Maybe I
shoot me,
was flagging, I don't know.
if you can shoot me through the internet, you're doing really good. I want
Yeah,
that gun.
That's a real magic bullet. So you don't really kind of practice so much with a light of any kind?
No, there's always lights on in the house. I mean,
Okay.
there's always lights on in
Sure.
the house, so I can see anything coming and going. And to
Right.
me, that's just have one room lit, and have the other room dark.
Yeah. Tack, do you ever train or practice at the range with a light?
Range at the light's going to have it fixed on the weapons.
Okay.
At home, both.
Okay.
And in
You have
other
both
private
ways?
training, and in other private training scenarios, both.
Right.
But not so much. Not so much freehanding and doubling up at the range.
Okay, I got it. Tack Daddy. I mean, Clover. Sorry.
I don't do a lot at night much anymore, but I mean, I used to, yeah, so I'm familiar with it. And one thing that it's a little bit different than, and I've talked about this before with having different kinds of lights, because inside the house, I primarily have a little stream light, one of the little micro streams. It's
Yeah.
not real super bright because, I mean, in the house, I don't see the need for anything super bright. Whereas outdoors, yeah, you would probably want that. But you could get a lot more chance for, reflection and things like that to go on inside the house.
Right. So Sean out there, Sean, I'm assuming that's New Hampshire 2A, NH. I'm assuming that's New Hampshire. I'm in a studio with my wife and a 5-month-old. Light fixed for outside, low light inside with night sights. There you go. So anybody out there, and feel free to put your comments out there and what you guys do. But hey, Greg.
Hey, Ghost.
I'm not. Oh, yeah. What's up, man?
I was just thinking out loud that
Yeah.
an easy way, and it's again not that everybody has a garage and everyone has that seclusion.
Sure.
But if you do, take your weapon, unload it, or dry fire it, snap caps, whatever you do. But go in the garage at night, turn the lights off, and then practice with even if you just literally are circling around your car, inspecting the car, taking
That's right.
different angles and seeing which different angles you would see over the hood, over the back, that kind of, just that simple shit. Again, it seems silly. However, if you've never done it and then all of a sudden you're forced to, that's the definition of having to catch up. And so that's it's an easy one if you have access to that.
Yeah, that was kind of my whole point was, and I'm not saying that you guys have to do it on a weekly basis to go out and work on clearing a room with a light at nighttime and all that. But I would sit there and say is I wouldn't never do it either. You definitely, we're talking about being proficient in concealed carry and home and self-defense, but people forget about being proficient with other things besides a firearm. And we're going to talk a little bit about not only the light, but if you're going to use a light, whether it's on your handgun or it's attached to your shotgun or whatever, or it's just going to be in your hand, however you choose, and there's not a wrong answer. They're all right. It's however you choose and what's more comfortable for you. Some people don't want to have to worry about having a second hand with a light, so they're going to have it fixed to their handgun, which easily accessible button or whatever. But however you choose to do this, guys, we want to make sure that you've actually got experience in handling that handgun or that shotgun with a fixed light, or being able to handle a gun single hand or with a light in your other hand, that if it ever does happen where you have a home invasion, that you've actually done this before, because the last thing you want to do is start freaking out when someone's in your house because you've never practiced this before. So we're going to, let's see here. Let's take a look at what's going on. The chat's moving pretty good. RL is going to go back to work, I guess. Bullseye says, although I was making fun with my dog's cuteness, seriously, if I had an intruder, my dog would find them easily, and that's all I need to know their location. Yeah, and I'm really not talking necessarily about the location of an intruder with that light. What I'm more worried about with that light is if I'm moving from one room to another, and we'll say from one corner of the house to another corner of the house, and I kind of already maybe know where the intruders are. I want to make sure that as I'm clearing a section of the room that I'm getting ready to enter, I've got my eyes and I can kind of just make sure that there's not more people than I think's in there, and or whatever. So it's not just for locating intruders; it's also for locating, is there anything on the floor that you might trip over? Something as simple as that, because if you trip over something you don't know is there, a lot of bad things could do. First of all, you might get a negligible discharge. You might shoot yourself. You might shoot through a wall and shoot somebody else that you're not attending to. Or you just get knocked out and now you're unconscious because you tripped over a skateboard or something else. So, like I said, you're going to kind of know the layout of the house, but that doesn't mean that nothing's going to be on the floor. You might trip over your dog. I mean, who knows? There's so many things that you could do. Now let's kind of transition from the light side of it. How many guys would have a knife of some sort, and maybe not even just a pocket knife, but maybe a Bowie knife or a knife that you use for home defense or anything? Do you guys ever have that in your home defense arsenal as well? We'll start with Clover. I know you got some knives, but do you use that in your home defense arsenal?
Not really.
Yeah.
If something went bump in the night, I couldn't tell you the last time I've grabbed a knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably, if you jump up and I guess it depends on what you sleep in, and that kind of thing. But, then you're already carrying a flashlight. Like I said, I have that little flashlight, and then I have, I have a pistol or, shotgun or whatever I tend to grab. And you only have two hands. So, and then where are you going to clip the knife? Are you going to take the time to grab it and clip it somewhere? I don't know. It's weird. And that begs the question. I mean, if you've got something like a home defense shotgun, would it be an altogether bad idea if you could find some way to fashion some type of a clip to put your knife on your shotgun?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I never thought about that. I've never had a knife for home defense. Man, I've got one I carry in my pocket. Right now I'm sitting at my desk, so this is my little pocket knife. I don't really have one for home defense or anything.
Well, we were talking, and I think it was Luke on one of the shows. Luke mentioned, if you turn a corner wrong or something like that, and you have a long gun, and somebody was to grab it,
Right.
try to grab it away from you. If you had like your assisted folder or something like that, and it was attached to the outside of the buttstock, well, with training and awareness, you could essentially, if they were trying to yank it away from you, at least with one hand grab that off of the buttstock, and then you would have the knife in your hand at that point.
Yeah, and in this whole excuse me, holy cow, this whole thing about the training and practicing is really kind of whatever you're going to use for yourself, your truck, or the home defense or whatever. It's something that you might want to be proficient with, and I don't know if you guys do or not. And I'll start. I'll ask this to Tack. I do, and I'll sit at the house every now and then, and I'll have my holster, and I'll obviously clear it, make sure that it's not loaded and all that. But I'll sit there and I'll work on my draw and while I'm doing dry firing. But a lot of people don't even really work on their draw and being proficient with a draw. And not only working with your normal draw, but what if one of your arms has been injured, especially your shooting hand? Are you able to draw from, let's say, your right hip if you're right-handed? Let's say you've been shot in your right shoulder or your right arm, and your arm is not useful right now. Are you able to draw your weapon from a 3 o'clock position with your opposite hand? Are you able to reload one-handed? There's all sorts of things that people don't think about. When you're talking about that kind of stuff, do you guys ever? And I'll start this with Tack, but do you ever work those scenarios at all?
Yes. I think the best way to equate it is when I got really good at snowboarding, when I was living in the mountain in Aspen and riding 100 days a year and got really good, about 2-3 years into it, I decided to just switch and go backwards. And those are the types of things that if you don't practice them, you don't get good at them. Gun proficiency and having a gun on you is one thing. Being able to draw it from all the different types of clothing and concealment that you got over it's another thing. And then all that other stuff you're talking about, now you're really talking the third and fourth level of, okay, I don't have use of one hand. Even if it's your left hand, how are you going to reload that thing? Now you got to reach.
Exactly.
You got to put your gun somewhere, reach crossbody, get that other magazine, because I'm assuming that's on your left side if you're right-handed. Get the old magazine out, get the new magazine, rack it, and get back on target with one arm. I mean, that is a different ball game in terms of training. And there's a couple different techniques, but I'm not truly trying to put out training advice out there. But at the same time, that is all the different stuff that does add to the mix.
Sure.
Putting your hands in cold water. Do that a few times and or 60 seconds, and then just try to do regular stuff, just like regular reloads. Yep. So lots to think about there.
Yeah, absolutely. That guy's wife out there says before she bought her new knife, all she has when she traveled was a paring knife in her lunch bag. Vanessa out there says a defense pitchfork. I like that one. You don't see pitchforks very often anymore, so I didn't know they still had those, but I guess. Rich White wants to know if a sword counts as a knife. He's got a sword behind his bedroom door if he needs to grab it.
I've got a machete next to my front door.
Yeah, I'm actually working on getting myself a samurai sword. Not only do I think I love the history of the samurai and with my wife's Japanese heritage, I'm kind of into that stuff, but I'm working on getting me a samurai sword. I think, I'm just going to move more to display, but I mean, hell, if anyone comes in, I can always go Michonne on them, I have no problem. Yeah, I'd love doing that.
Don Connery on the Gun Channel side says he keeps all his visitor greetings spread all about because knives make too much mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he has all his greetings for those special guests spread out.
Ohio 45 out there also says that he has a Mossberg 590 with a bayonet mount. That's awesome. I like that. Let's see here. Let's kind of check up on how does one farm and not have a pitchfork? Compost isn't. I don't farm, so maybe that's probably why I don't see pitchforks a whole lot. Phoenix says that guy's wife just carries a tactical leprechaun in her purse. I think they're saying it. Are you small? Is that what they're saying? You can fit in your wife's purse? All right, take care, Hottie. What's going on, OBN? How you doing, brother? Russ Carr says I have a meat cleaver bayonet on a shotgun and it's loaded with salt and pepper shot. I call it my barbecue gun. That's pretty awesome. All right, so let's talk real quick about our. Actually, let's go ahead and take our second commercial because I want to get back and we're talk about some one more topic. So, John, you got commercial 2 set?
Here at Ghost Tactical, you are always invited to check out our website at ghosttactical.us. Here you will find all of our social media links like Patreon, as well as shop for your favorite Ghost Tactical apparel and gear. At Ghost Tactical, you can also find out more information on Drill of the Month and links to many Second Amendment organizations. So go ahead and check out the ghosttactical.us website online today. And back to you.
Thanks there, Peter. Start calling you Peter, I guess. We got some, let's see here. Someone just came in. Oh, Gunpowder. What's going on, Gunpowder? How you doing? 9mm. So Mia says, I was big into martial arts growing up. I highly recommend taking an earnest class for weapons such as swords, knives, and machetes. You practice with all of them. It's so much fun. That actually does sound kind of fun. Yeah, that does sound pretty cool. Now, getting back into the last topic of the night, we might go a little bit over, but we're not going to go 3 hours over. But I want to talk about doing practice drills and kind of like what we used to do when we were kids in school. We do the tornado drills and all of that. Practicing different scenarios with the family, whether it's in the car or in the house. so that everyone's kind of prepared for, God forbid, if someone does break in or there's something that happens at the house, but breaking in and then actually knowing where to be. We use safe words. So the safe word is if I call out one word, they know what to answer with. And if it's not that word, then it's probably not going to be real pretty. But as far as practicing, if you're in different rooms of the house and all of that, you need to know that, in a scenario happens, do we rush out of our bedroom to get to mom and dad's room, or do we rush out of our bedroom and go get Susie and Johnny? Or, where do we have specific things staged throughout the house for easy access for everybody that is properly trained and proficient with it? But do you guys ever go through a dry fire exercise, a simulated invasion or anything? Do you guys ever do that? And I'll start with Ellis.
I actually do. I will go through the house, cornering, like I said earlier, practicing that sort of thing. I'm the only one in the house that has any sort of experience at all with firearms.
Right.
So, I'm trying to get everybody else on board, but it's a slow process. I mean, they've never owned guns, so they're a bit nervous when it comes to that sort of thing. So, it's a slow process. But yes, I do clearing exercises, stuff like that.
Greg out there says, what about hand-to-hand tactics? Absolutely. Hand-to-hand is, those are probably the easiest type of class that you can find. Whether it's any kind of martial arts, but any kind of hand-to-hand tactics, those are the classes that are probably going to be more readily available to people out there. So if you're interested in the hand-to-hand combat or hand-to-hand tactics, close quarter tactics, then absolutely they're out there. So go check those out. But those are pretty readily found, a lot of places, especially at universities. I know a lot of universities are starting to offer those for their students, especially the female students for freshman year classes. That I think is a great idea, by the way. But do you guys ever work the house a little bit and make sure that you have safe words, or do you guys have any, things that you make sure that in situation A where there's someone, what everyone's supposed to do, where to go in that situation?
The one that I'll share.
Yeah, you don't have to share it.
No.
It could be a yes or no.
Some of it's already out there. You're not asking me anything personal, and I'm not ashamed to share. It's more along the lines of just, for security purposes.
Absolutely.
But the one that I'll share that makes a lot of sense to me that we do have as part of the deal is like at a restaurant or in a public place, there is a safe word that's followed by either the command to stay or go. So let's say the safe word is jelly bean, and right. We are, how are you? And we are at a restaurant, and my back is to the wall and the kids are eating and my wife's there, and I yell out jelly bean stay, they know they need to hit the floor. If I yell out jelly bean go, they know they need to hit the closest exit and get out. And that's just kind of some basic stuff that I would share.
Absolutely. Take care, Sean. I know you gotta leave, and you might have already left, but and
they also know that if I'm yelling out jelly bean, that means my gun is probably coming out pretty soon after.
Right.
If it's not already ready. So they know it's dead serious. It's not something we joke around with or anything like that.
Yeah. Clover, do you guys ever do any dry fire exercises at the house? I know that, like you said, if someone gets in the house, they've got to really want to get in there. But just for giggles, do you ever work on any of that stuff?
Not so much anymore. But I mean, we don't have kids at home, and we're in one room in one end, and really the only entry's in the other. And like I said, it would be interesting.
Yeah. I'm looking out here on the chat, and they were talking earlier. I gotta find it. I lost it. Crap! I'm gonna lose it. Oh, here we go. Patriot says it's only me and his 10-year-old daughter in the house, and she and I go through scenarios once a week. And I think, especially for a young, a young person, I'm not going to call him a child, because a 10-year-old actually, they don't like being called children sometimes. But when you have your kids involved, and especially if it's just the two of you or whatever, and one of them, your life may depend upon your 10-year-old being proficient. What if you get injured? They're going to have to maybe, hopefully, know a little bit about something, first aid, or maybe have shot a gun before and actually can maybe work their way back to you. But going through the scenarios, and I'm kind of like Ellis. My wife laughs at me every now and then, but I'll clear a room a day, and just work on, going from this point to another point, and I'll work on clearing a room if I'm. And a lot of times it's going to sound silly, but when I'm on a lot of these other shows and on panels, I'm usually on my phone, and so I'll have my little headset on, and I'm actually walking around the house quite a bit, and I'm working on different stuff, and it's just for me, my own proficiency. But I think a lot of that comes down to, once again, it all comes down to being proficient and being. I can't say you're going to be experienced, because no matter how much you practice, it's never going to be like the real thing, obviously, and drilling, pumping, and all of that. But what I will say is, the more you practice, the better chances you have survival that you will have in a real world scenario, because you and your family kind of know, like I said, we have safe words. We have different scenarios. We kind of know where the guns are staged throughout the place, and where extra ammo possibly could be, and all of that. So there's all sorts of stuff that you have to be, not just practice shooting your gun, but practicing and being proficient at the skills of basically handling an attack and an invasion and surviving that situation. So what we're going to do is, real quick, we're going to talk about Drill of the Month. It's just about 8 o'clock, so I'm sure Night Strike and the boys will be coming on here for a few minutes. I promised them that I would not cork them too much. Let's see what Midnight says. I bet when the John Z eats taco buffets, you can hear you can clear our room better than Ghost or Tack. Calavera says, "Let a topic. I need to start practicing more." And guys, it actually is kind of fun. I mean, especially for those of you that can't get to the range. I hear that so much. I just don't have the time, or my range is 45 minutes, or the cost of ammo, or whatever it is. And that's okay. It's all valid reasons. Sometimes if you can't get to the range that week, work on clearing a room, work on getting from different points in the house to another one, and work on drawing with weekend only, work on getting your light, all sorts of stuff. There's stuff you can do at the house that you can train and practice with instead of just going to the range and getting led down range. But there's all sorts of stuff you can do that's going to help you and your family survive an invasion. That being said, let's start talking Drill a Month. Tomorrow is the 28th, and I need to go ahead and find, where is my Google Docs? I need to, Steven Crowder, Real Conversations. I'm pro gun, changed my mind. Oh my God, I love it. It's my favorite Steven Crowder thing he does is, I'm pro gun. He sits at a table somewhere and just has a sign that says, "I'm pro gun, changed my mind," and has these random people come change his mind. So he just did that video, so I'm gonna have to go and look at that, because I love that. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Drill of the Month link out in the YouTube side and on the Gun Channel side. There it is. In the description of that video, guys, is the target download link, so you can look at that, or you can go to the website and check out the previous month's winners and all of that stuff. Remember, to be eligible to win the Drill of the Month, you must subscribe to the channel, like the video, and submit a video response. Now, if you do not want to post your video response publicly and have people watch it, but you want me to see it, you can email me. Go ahead and upload it on YouTube, but upload it as unlisted. That way you have to have the link in order to see that video. And just send me an email to drillofthemonth@ghosttactical.us. and just include that link in there. And this month is a 9-ball. If you're familiar with billiards or pool, whatever you want to call it, it's 9-ball. So basically you have the diagram with a target. You have 9 balls numbered 1 through 9, and you have to shoot them in order. Okay. If you miss or you hit the wrong ball, you've got to start over. So the whole drill is how many shots does it take you to shoot 1 through 9? And we're shooting this from 15 feet. 15 feet, guys. So the whole purpose of Drill of the Month is to get out there and shoot. Take someone with you. You know, I had Storm with me. His visiting last week, and he had never shot a gun before. I took him out to the range, and he shot several of my guns. And but take someone out there. I think the problem with a lot of the anti-gun, quote unquote, anti-gun people is I don't think they're necessarily anti-gun. They just never shot a gun before. And I mean, how many people have you ever been around that shot a gun that says, "Man, I hate that. That was not fun. I'm never going to do that again." I've never had that happen. I've always said, you know, people, even they were scared, man, that wasn't as bad as I thought. So get out there and shoot, grab someone that hasn't shot before or is very, very new to the game, and take them out there and shoot. I think you're really going to appreciate their response to that. I think they'll enjoy it, and maybe doing a little competition helps people as well. Holy cow. All right. Let's see here. All right. So, yeah, we're going to take since talking the drill of the month, we're going to take our last commercial and talk about the Gun Channels Blitz. So, John, who we got tonight?
At GhostTactical.com, we have for the Gun Channels Blitz, RL Sewer. And don't forget, we also encourage support of any and all new firearm content creators who are willing and able to turn the camera on. We are very excited about the influx of new creators and are working effortlessly to get these up-and-coming stars noticed. We at Gun Channels have created a program to spotlight newer channels like increasing their brand awareness. We call this the Gun Channels Blitz. All that we ask is that you, after watching the video as a viewer or subscriber, visit the channel that we select for the Gun Channels Blitz. If you like the channel and content, please subscribe to the channel and use the hashtag Gun Channels Blitz. Don't forget, once again, RL Sewer is our hashtag Gun Channels Blitz member of the day. Thank you.
RL and his link I'm putting out on the YouTube and on the Gun Channel site. So go check out RL. RL has been doing a lot of cool stuff. You've been blitzed before. Well, RL, you know, here's the thing is everyone's been blitzed before because a lot of us are getting involved with the blitz. So, you know, you're probably going to get blitzed several times, and that's okay. I think you were at 130 or something last time I checked earlier today. So maybe we get you that 200 mark or 150 mark. So it's okay. Yeah, I know you've probably been blitzed before, but we're trying to get everybody not just get blitzed once. It's getting blitzed several times that people continuously try to get these younger content creators out there to but your blitz is so good. Yeah. Try to get the word out there about these channels out there. So I think that maybe last week, I want to say maybe it was Friday or Saturday, but I want to say that Clover, your wife, you know, got blitzed like 3 or 4 times in like a 24-hour span. So
yeah, I think that was, you know, birthday week too for her. I think she got yeah. But yeah, the point of the blitz. I mean, if you ever followed Beta Destiny, that's where it was copied from, and you know, the point is we're in a different environment and situation now. You've got a lot of these bigger channels that they don't care, they don't work together, they don't coordinate, they, you know, nothing. They don't know each other, they don't know that each other exists. And you're talking about big channels. I've heard of channels that have, you know, 1 million subs, and then another one will have 500,000, and they're like, "Who are you talking about? Who is that?" And I'm like, "Really?" Yeah. And I don't think that's good for the community. And with the way that the YouTubes and the social media is changing, I don't think that's a good idea for us as creators too. I think it's important that we, you know, we got to do our own thing, but we need to be aware of each other and sort of help support each other. That way we can all, you know, call to action at the same time if we need to, and things like that.
And see that, and that's the whole point that I think that the community getting more and more cameras out there and getting more and more creators out there, it's just spreading our reach, spreading because everyone's going to have their own family and friends and people in their area that are going to watch their channel that now might get involved with these other people because of that one channel. So our spread is getting bigger. Our web is getting bigger with this blitz. Now, RL, now, first of all, Tack just said he just subbed RL and said it better be good. So no pressure. But RL did say that the rally details for the Pennsylvania 2A rally, this are the second video down. Anyone in Pennsylvania, please check it out. So if you're in Pennsylvania and we're talking about the 2A Capital rallies again, we're starting the process of getting that out and getting that going again. So if you're in Pennsylvania, go check out RL's channel. He said it's the second video down, and the details for the 2A rally are going to be there as well. Let's see here. Now, I did notice that there's a lot of early watch channels out there for different states, which I think is kind of cool. I think there's a Minnesota, a Connecticut, a Michigan. So I think that's kind of cool. They're doing some early watch channels for each individual state. That's going to help also drive people in your area to a specific place to spread the words. Like you said, Clover, is when we need to get everybody together and rally the troops, it might be easier to have specialized locations. If you know where to go, it might be easier to get that message out. So I like that idea of what they're doing. Guys, before we get out of here, I tell you what I want to do. I'd like to give a couple things away, a couple giveaways. So I got a couple things. So I tell you what, I could use your help if you don't mind. Give me about 5 more minutes of your time and we'll get out of here. Over on the internal chat. Let's see here. I don't even think of a good question. Gotta think of a good question. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Clover, I'm going to let you ask the second. I got 2 items, so I'll let you ask the next one. How about that? You got it? So the first one is going to be that answer right there. So the first one is going to be for a hat. Pretty awesome hat. The Gila Ammunition. So there it is. It's a really cool hat. Gray with the red and white logo. Looks really sharp. Pops pretty nice on that hat. So for you guys, if you can, John, can you watch the gun channel side for me, if you don't mind? What's up, Trauma Jock? Got no notification. I know, man. It's all good. Michael Cornett. Yeah, I know that the notifications. It's already been over an hour. Getting ready to get out of here, but you're in time for the giveaways. We still got about 30 people out here watching. Let's see here. For this question, it's going to be this. There was a handgun that I shot on range day at SHOT Show that I loved. Probably was my favorite handgun of SHOT Show. It was from a company called Caracal. What is the model name of that handgun that I did a video on? What is the model of the Caracal handgun that I shot and loved at SHOT Show? Well, we know it's Caracal. I mean, I've only said the Caracal at least 7 times. What's the model of Caracal? It is not the SAR 9. That's a different company. I'm going to show that from Tac Daddy, but that's not even close. Clover says the 1911, the BR 549. Getting close, Clover. You're getting close. The Thingamajiggy 9mm. That's even closer, Michael. What is the? I've got a video up there, guys. So all you got to do is open up a different window and go check out my video list. The Jimenez wannabe. That's right. Something with gutter sights. It did have gutter sights, but what's the name of that model? R2D2. Man, nobody wants this. If nobody wants to have, then I'll just
R2D2.
Yeah, I like the R2D2. That's pretty good. That's cheating.
The C3PO.
Clover Jr. sells cars, not guns. Let's see if boss says that. Well, Jim Burgess. There you go. It was the Enhanced F. The Enhanced F was indeed. So the hat goes to Jim Burgess. All right, good job, Jim. Yeah, it is the enhanced F pistol. My second is going to be, now understand that this might not work for everybody. Holy cow, they gave me a medium. I don't even know if I want to do this. You know what? I'm going to give this to my daughter. She could wear a medium. Unless anybody wants a medium t-shirt that says Gators Eyewear. It's an awesome shirt, but it's a medium. I don't know how many people can wear mediums. If you guys want this, we'll do something later for it. I tell you what we'll do. Clover, you got a good question? Is it a good question?
I think it might be a little difficult because other than random shows, I don't know that it's been revealed.
All right. Well, that's a good thing because I want this to be a pretty difficult question, and here's why. This is what we're playing for. Autograph picture from SHOT Show from Julie Golub. Awesome 8.5 by 11 picture with Julie. Best switches from Julie Golub. So it's an awesome picture. She was nice enough to give me several of those for the viewers. So you want to put the answer in the internal chat, Clover, so that we know what it is?
Let me put the question first and make sure you're okay with that. And
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put the. Well, I mean, you know, but and Tack knows, but John, that's what it is. All right. So, you want me to answer it? You want me to ask it? Or you want to go ahead and ask it?
Yeah, you can do it. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So this is obviously once again going to be for the Trauma says he hasn't worn medium since 1985. My tactical gut does not fit into a medium. That's pretty funny. All right. So this is going to be for the Julie Golub autograph picture. As you guys know, Clove and I are actually doing some T&E for some gear. Right now I'm doing for some pants and some boots. And I think we talked about it maybe briefly on the Ghost and Clover show. I think it was when we were talking about it for a little bit. But we're both doing some T&E for a company with some gear. What's the name of that company? What is the name of that company? This is going to be difficult because it's not any titles anywhere. You might have been having to maybe be watching that. No one might get this. We might have to come up with an alternate question. No, it's not 511. Oshkosh Bagosh. It's pretty funny, Russ. I like that. No, it's not Oshkosh Bagosh. Beats, negative. Old Navy, no, sir.
No, Raphael, it's not Fruit of the Loom.
Fruit of the Loom.
Garanimals, Tactical Tailor. No, I love Tactical Tailor stuff, but that's not it. Bravos, Martha Stewart Prison Wear.
Does two answers count?
Oh, Michael Cornett, I guess, gets it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We got a winner.
Clothing or True Spec. It is True Spec. Very good. So, Michael and Jim, I think I already have your email, but Michael, let's put Julie pick is going to be Michael. See, you got here. You were late to the party, but you ended up winning something. So, Michael, what I need for you to do is send me an email to live@ghosttactical.us. Let me type it in here. And send me, obviously, name and address so I can get this stuff mailed out. For those of you that won the stuff a week or so ago, I'm going to send everything out at once as of probably Thursday at the first of the month. So I'll have all of this stuff because some people have won multiple items. So congratulations to Michael and to Jim. Thank you. You don't win stuff. Well, you won something tonight, Michael. And like I said, you just kind of got here just in the nick of time as well because you said you were late. And that's pretty awesome because, you know, you got here in perfect time. What I want to do, guys, real quick is Night Strike and everything's over there. So go check out Hit or Miss on Night Strike 1 on YouTube or Hit or Miss dashes in between each word over on GunChannels.com. Go check out Hit or Miss here. They're starting up here. Thank you guys for watching. I want to run it through the room real quick and let people plug or talk about whatever they need to talk about. Clover, we'll start with you. What you got?
I don't have anything. Just get over there, watch Hit or Miss. What do we got? Daily Gun Show later. Big Gunner, I think, maybe. So get out there, watch some stuff, support some shows, and have fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on anytime, buddy. Let's see here. Let me type that. I'm not a very good typer. Tack, what you got? You got Gun News Weekly this week?
Thursday night, 9 o'clock, as always. Thanks again for the invite, dude. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, stay safe out there.
You too. You too. Say hi to the family for us, okay? Ellis, what you got?
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Nah, not a whole lot. I'm doing another contest this month. I'll be giving away another goat gun. For any of my Patreons out there that wants to get involved. If you want to get involved, become a Patreon, Outlaw Hatfield.
There you go. John, thank you as always for running the switchboard and manning the producer engineer. Appreciate you very much. You got anything you want to plug on? I know you guys have Unloaded Media. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Check us out, Unloaded Media, Saturdays at 9:30. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And congratulations to the winners. Great show. And I hope to see everybody here next week. Don't forget to check out ghosttactical.us.
And thanks, guys, for watching. I really do appreciate everyone coming in. Thanks, Hottie. Thanks, Trauma. Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks, everyone, for watching. RL. We kind of had a different crew at the beginning than in the end, so that's kind of a cool thing. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Get out there and shoot. Like I said, drill of the month. The last day to submit your video responses tomorrow. So get out there and shoot a drill of the month. Take someone with you, introduce them to shooting and all that. That's the whole purpose of the drill of the month, is to just get out to the range and shoot. Remember to continuously be working on your home defense with your family. It's okay to do dry fire drills. Practice clearing a room. Work on your safe words. Work on what you're going to do in a situation when you're in a car. Work on drawing with your weak hand on your strong side. All sorts of different stuff. Play every scenario out, because you don't want to be surprised and inexperienced in that situation. So thanks again, as once and for always. Thank you for watching Tactical Tuesday. Go check us out on the replay. Go check out all these guys on the panel's channel. Go check out everybody in the chat. Go check out GunChannels.com. Thank you as always, and we'll see you next week. Semper Fi.